Hello, thank you for joining me on another episode of Welcome to My World. It's cold today. So today we're doing another episode in the van series. We've got a bit more sealing to do today on the front windscreen, inside and out, and on the roof of the van, which obviously Sam will be doing so it gets done properly. But I'm just going to record any bits that we do on the van today and take you along for the ride. What are you doing? Just wiping the...
So at the moment just getting most of the water out of the towel, making sure it's dry up here. I'm going to use your hair dryer to make sure it's really dry and get it nice and heated up.
Okay.
So then the silicone will adhere a bit better to it. I'm going to fill this void with silicone all the way along. Yeah, that should permanently seal the outside, but we'll also seal the inside later.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the fan heater going in the van all day because that will heat up the interior, which will then heat up this bodywork a little bit.
Okay.
Not a lot, but it will help it dry.
Nice.
And then equally, there's going to be silicone done inside the van. Right. Would you be able to grab your hairdryer if I saw the extension lead out in the van?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
That's a clever idea, putting it through the window.
Try and keep as much heat in the van as possible.
Got me old Babyliss elegance. We're going to hair dry. Like I say, I'm not doing much today. It's Sam.
To be honest, there's not a great amount you can do today, really. It's all
I'll just be the.
either up on the roof or up on the ladder, and we've only got one ladder.
I'll be the videographer. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, you can record our awesomeness. Right, need to go to the other side.
Good time lapse.
You getting cold?
Yeah, I'm freezing. You're not fine.
No, fine.
I might put my gloves on. I think they're upstairs there in my coat again. Of course they are.
Leave this ready to go, and then when the silicone's up, use it to help dry it out a bit initially.
Ooh, jump. And now Sam's looking for something to cut open the silicone. Is it black?
Stuff will just smooth it out, which looks kind of manky right now, but we'll take a razor blade to the thin stuff going over the paint when it's dry.
Okay.
And then it'll be a nice
Put more on and take off what you need, the excess, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's much better to put more on and have it overflowing, and then be able to make it look neat later than not have enough and have it still leaking.
Yeah.
Looks a bit manky now, but we'll give it a day or so to dry up and then neaten it up the next day.
Top blow. Got much left?
It's down to here.
Oh, so you haven't even used half, and so you should definitely get the outside done.
Yeah, the outside shouldn't be a problem.
Oh my god, guys, it is so cold today. I've got to go and put my gloves on and my jumper under my coat. I guess when you're not doing anything, you don't warm up very quick. I'm sure Sam is boiling.
Can I pass us the tripod? I'll quickly show people what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure.
Just briefly.
Yeah.
So, what we're doing up here is that hatch there. So depending on what spec you get a long wheelbase transit, and there could be central cranes, escape hatches, sunroofs, all kinds of options. But there's a lot of standing water on that. So I'm going to wipe it all off with the tails towards the back of the van so it doesn't go on the windscreen we just done. And then re-silicone around it, because something around there is definitely leaking into the van when it rains heavy.
Right, so Sam has finished siliconing the windscreen. I'm going to let him tell you what we're doing, well, what he's doing on the inside.
So the roof was siliconed on the outside. Going to do the same thing inside now. It's all been dried out. We've used a hairdryer to get in all the seams and gaps and blast out all the water. Now, although the outside should be siliconed enough to make it weatherproof, going to silicone the inside as well, just to double make sure it's all good. All the rust treatment's already been done, so nothing will keep rusting. But since we got wet in here from so much rain last night, I've still got the fan heater trying to dry everything out. And
so why was it still leaking though?
Because last night it hadn't been done.
Oh, we hadn't sealed the windscreen.
Today.
And you think the windscreen is where it's
come in? Well, the windscreen was sealed with the little bit of silicone we had, and in all honesty, the windscreen didn't really leak at all. So add in all the extra silicone we had and actually sealing all the way along instead of just where we had up to with what silicone we had left. That should be fine now. I don't see that being a problem at all. Fabulous. It's just we got to finish doing in here. Now the roof should be enough to hold it on its own, but we've got extra silicone, so we may as well use it. Do the inside as well as the outside.
We are back. It's a few days later and we have sold 3 of the seats. We are trying to, well, say we again, Sam is trying to take the seats out just so that for any future potential buyers they are ready to come out. But yeah, like I said, we sold 3, and yeah, if you want to buy one, get in contact. How many we've got left?
Too many.
Too many. We've got those left if you want double or singles, and they're in really good condition. So, but yeah, so let me spin around and show you what Sam is doing. What you doing?
So, just slowly taking these out. Definitely slowly. So far, I've broke 2 Torx 50mm bits. Not 50mm, Torx 50 bits. This one's shattered from using an impact gun, and the other one I twisted it to pieces because the bolt was stuck.
So they're not coming out easy.
So can't risk using an impact gun now because we only have a couple of TX 50 bits left, which means got to do it all with a breaker bar, which takes forever and is a lot more painful. To try and make it a bit better, a couple of days ago, put WD-40 in the tops of all of these, went under the van, WD-40 the underside, scrubbed them off with a wire brush, but they're still just impossible to get out. Either someone put Loctite on these things when they was installed, or they've all just seized up over the years. Yeah, it's a very slow process, but until we get these seats out, we can't get this floor up, because when we get this floor out, we can clean under here, same as the front of the cab, treat any rust that might be here. Then we can put it all back down, we can install the the seats back in the front because we need to get this as a usable vehicle because we've effectively sold the Land Rover. We're just waiting on the documentation to come through.
Right guys, I'm going to put Sam on hyperlax while he takes the seats out, and we will see you after.
Stand up, it's a wheel arch.
What, the chair?
Yeah.
Can I hold it here?
Stand up on its own because it's attached to that wheel arch.
You got it?
Aye, we'll have to prop it against the other ones.
Oh, here he comes. He's taking out the chairs.
This one's gonna have to go here, otherwise it falls over. The front, I think all the front seats are out. All the front bolts are out of this seat, I think. I can't remember. Oh yeah, watch that. That's where I had to grind that bolt off. You don't want to stand on that or trip and fall on that.
Okay.
But when we get the floor out, I'll be able to grind that back down flat and we won't even know it was there. We're making progress.
We're making
Turn
progress.
it into a usable vehicle before the Land Rover goes, so we got no car.
Yeah, there's that.
Right, let's hope and pray that this one is not stiff and I can just get it out with a normal wrench and not have to get the brake bar out again because that takes forever. There's a bolt that goes right there and the seat leg came down here, so I had that much room to move the ratchet back and forth. Took forever. I don't think I've got the room to get this in. Sometimes it doesn't line up where you can get the brake bar in again to do another swing.
Swing, bada bada. I mean, if you need me to help because I'm strong, then...
By all means, I've got an extra T50, you can start on the back ones if you want.
Oh, I think the dogs are calling me. I think they need to go for a wee.
This is so fun. Quarter turns. I don't have any bolts in here to show you. So see that bolt sitting on the chair by the seat belt, that long one?
Yeah.
Imagine undoing that, and for every quarter of a turn, you got to do that. So this only goes quarter.
Is it broke? Because it's wobbly.
No.
This is the bolt he's referring to.
So you got to undo all of that thread.
I can't see it. It's not focusing.
And you've got to do quarter of a turn at a time.
There we go.
And each turn takes forever.
Guys, we're going to give up our home and we're going to live in the van. If anybody wants to let us park on their drive or their land. In fact, we'll go down Little Ullswater. He'll let us park on his drive. That won't ruin his street cred. Old Swampy.
That'll improve the look of his house, won't it? Having a nice camper on front.
It will actually, yeah, that Little Ullswater's looking a bit dossy now. Now them two have moved in. We are back and all the seats are out, finally unbolted, and we nearly sold most of them, but we've still got some, so they're out on the grass, and we're just going to start taking the floor up, see what state the floor is, and rust treat it and everything else we did everywhere else, and then we're going to start mapping out where we're going to put stuff. So the fun stuff is to come, and it's starting to rain, so we're going to have to get what we can done and then come back in and out as and when. Right guys, so I've hoovered out the floor. We took the board up. The floor doesn't look too bad actually. I'm going to show you in a sec. It's just a bit muddy, so I've hoovered the loose bits of mud, and obviously after I will mop and clean the floor properly before we put the boards back down. Yeah, let me show you what it looks like. Alright guys, this is the floor. So it doesn't look like there's really much rust. A little bit around them screw holes, but some more where it's cracked off, and we will rust treat the floor. But mainly it looks like just dirt that we need to clean off, but Sam is having problems at the back, so I'll take you to show you that.
So the metal step plate on the back is stuck on because on these bolts they're nuts on the other side, but the nuts have rusted on and they're just turning as one unit. So like all the bolts on this van, they're a pain in the arse, and I'm going to have to cut them off from the underneath.
There's always a problem.
There is with these bolts. First it was the seat bolts, and now it's the bolts to get this back plate off, but this should be the last lot because there's nothing else in here that's bolted on because we've taken everything else out.
Yeah, and the rain. We're hoping the rain
Hopefully
holds
that
off.
holds off, because I don't want to be having a mad rush to try and put everything back in while I'm still cutting the underside of this.
Put black bags on everything, so hopefully it should stay a bit safe, but we will see. But for now, we'll be back when we make some more progress.
He's gone under the van. Where he is?
He's coming. We've got little Robin, he keeps flapping about the van. So we just got some wax worms out on Sam's hand. Gonna see if he's gonna eat it. Oh, Dilly. Come on, you can do it, little Robin.
No, he's scared again.
Oh, he wants it.
He keeps coming and then darting away like I'm going to grab him or something.
See a shadow. Ah, he took it.
I'm impressed.
Okay.
Maybe they'll do that more in the future.
Oh, our new little Robin. Right guys, we're back in the van and it's still leaking, so fun times. So Sam sealed the roof on the outside and on the inside, but it's still leaking. So today Sam's taken the, what do you call it?
So despite sealing it twice, it's not sealed, so we're going to take this big square hatch out, which when it was made it had a cherry picker fitted or a crane fitted or whatever, that's where this would have gone. We've just got the blanking panel, and yeah, even though we sealed it twice, it helped a lot, but it hasn't stopped it, and we can't really start the van build with it still leaking. So
No, because we've ruined all our stuff.
yeah, which means we've got to take this panel out, which is pretty annoying because all the extra silicone I put on here the last two times we've now got to take off, and it's just a waste of like a tube and a half of silicone.
Yeah. We've got more silicone to put back up, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got plenty more silicone to put back up.
And all our insulation bits have come, so what have we got? The insulation rolls,
We've got the sound deadening,
yeah, sound
the
deadening.
insulation, the vapour barrier's not turned up yet,
Wait
but
for that.
the metal tape has turned up.
Yeah, so
There's a few more bits that have turned up, I forget what there was.
we've got boxes everywhere in the house, but obviously we can't do any of that until we sort this leak, because we don't want to ruin the insulation and whatever else we put in. So it's been problematic, but let me show you what the Sam's doing, and then yeah. So these are the bits you're taking off, so I don't know if you can see
so
where we've sealed up here. This has all got to be pulled down.
the trouble is the silicone's actually stuck really well.
Yeah, it's
And
good silicone.
it's quite awkward to get out. I'm hoping if I'm able to unbolt these, whatever they stuck this down with originally isn't that strong, and we can just pop the panel off.
So you
and then-
taking them bars off?
What bars?
Is it the bars that go across that you're taking off? Which bit you're taking off?
This.
Oh, the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there might be something we need to get closer up to seal, because it's still getting in somewhere and we do not know where.
Well, if we take the big square panel off, we clean up all the edges, we clean up any water up there, remove any old silicone or sealant, and then we put down fresh new stuff that we know goes all the way around and is going to seal all lovely, and then bolt it all back down. It should be good. But we've got to get this done today, because tomorrow we're due rain, and I don't think it's going to cure very well if it's sitting in water.
Yeah, that'll be the test if it's worked again.
I'm just hoping that whatever they used to stick this panel down originally isn't so strong that we can't push this panel off when all the bolts are undone.
Problems.
Otherwise we're screwed. But the good thing is, so far, all these bolts have come undone, which I was thinking was going to be a real problem, because if any of these stuck, it's not like a traditional bolt that goes all the way through. It's a little stud that's welded onto this top panel, and then the nuts on the other side. So if we had sheared that, then I don't have a stud welder to put them back on. We would have just been left with a roof that we can't bolt down.
The fun of van life, eh?
Yeah, so fortunately
They're coming off.
these have all
easy.
come off. So now they're loose. I'm going to go up on the roof, going to mop up as much water around this panel as I can, otherwise when we take it off we'll just have a small waterfall coming in.
Okay. Yes. And then I'll be back to show you some more, probably in time lapse, but yeah, that's what the plan is for today. And then we're going to show you the floor where we've mapped out how we're going to have the actual van. But yeah, for now, more roof stuff. Okay, he's off on the roof to dry it out before we take the inside out so we don't get drenched. Has anyone else got one of these ladders? They scare the shit out of me. They don't seem like secure, they wobble. It's because they bend. And he's off.
I bet this doesn't press off easy. I really hope it does though. This is going to be a problem. Okay, let's start peeling off all the silicone. Maybe I'll get a mallet and tap around on each of these bolts. That might help free it up as well. This is going to take ages.
Guys, it's cold today, so Sam's on the roof now. He's taking the silicone off and it's pretty much nearly finished now, so I'm going to start inside and go from there. Right guys, we are back. We have no roof. The roof has been taken off, and yeah, I'm gonna let Sam tell you what's happening.
So it's a bit of a race now because it's supposed to rain tonight.
Yep.
It's the only dry day we've had for a little while. It was definitely leaking. It had to come off. It's been leaking in a few places. All down. This edge is now rush treated. I'm scraping the silicone off this edge. You already got most of this off. I'm just getting the last little bits. Then it's going to be that edge and that edge. As each side's done, pulling these washers off and getting the silicone off from around the bolts. Just making sure it's all clean and treating the rust. Up top's already been all cleaned off. All the silicone's gone. It's been scraped. It's been sanded. It's been cleaned. So that's all good to go. It's just going to be a case of it will probably be dark out here soon, so I'll need your ring light.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be a case of keep cleaning this and scraping it until it's clean, and then...
Oh, there's horrible silicone.
Yeah, when it's done, put new stuff down, put some mastic tape down, bolt it all down, up round here.
Oh, on the roof,
when
okay.
it bolts down, and then I'll face this fan heater upwards to
little handy
try and
dandy
keep it warm a little bit.
fan heater.
And hopefully it'll all set, and hopefully it'll all set before it starts raining.
Yep.
I'm glad we did take this off, because if we didn't, we would have had to do it like later this winter or next winter anyway. The silicone we put on was covering it, but it wasn't stopping it because there was just so many places it was coming through.
Yeah, and we need to do this properly. We're going to spend a lot of money doing this van up, so we can't have it leaking. We've got to find all the faults now so that we can carry on.
Unfortunately, this is the boring bit. Find all the problems, fix them, and then we can start the interesting bit of insulating, cladding, and actually making a van.
Indeed. Guys, we're back. It's a few days later. I'm just going to do a quick update on the van, and then I'm going to end this video. Thanks for the light, Sam. I'm going to swizz the camera around and show you some bits. Right, so roof is back on. Thank you to Sam's dad, and who helped, and no leaking, guys. The roof is not leaking anymore, which is fantastic. But if you can see this black splodge, Sam did seal this up, but it's still leaking. So Sam's going to, what are you going to do? Some more
I've
bits?
cleaned off the sealant that's up there. I'm going to clean off the sealant on the outside and patch it up with some flash tape, and I'll do the same on the driver's side just to make sure, even though the driver's side's not leaking.
And I'm afraid, although you can see that there, we have wrote on the floor where we mapped out where we wanted stuff with the hazard tape, whatever you call it. But obviously there's too much stuff in here still to show you, so I will, yeah, maybe I'll insert some pictures, but for now I can't show you in real life, but yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few more little bits that Sam's done. So the little light now works when you come and open the door.
Probably change that to something that looks a bit fancier when it's a camper, but
Yeah.
for now it works.
Okay, what else we done? Well, you've done.
The front, the steps back in, all the floors back in, the wheel arch liners are back in.
Yeah, it's all back in, so it's starting to be put back together. But
Your
obviously...
seat's all bolted down.
Oh yeah, I've got a seat now, guys. Got a seat back in.
All the various little trim pieces.
Yeah.
The driver's side, one of these, the fins had fell off and they was inside the air vent, so I managed to fish those out with some long tweezers and put that all back together. It's raining a lot.
Yeah, Sam fitted new wiper blades on the van.
The ones that were on there were rubbish.
They were, yeah, they weren't very good. So I've got new wiper blades. I've ordered a new Ford badge.
It's on.
It's on. Oh, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it on. Yeah, I've got a new Ford badge because that was a bit manky. And what else are you doing? Oh, and you fitted the tyre, did you say, underneath the van?
Yeah, so it turns out the spare wheel doesn't have to sit in the van and roll about all over the place or be strapped to the wall. Actually, you need to unlock it before it actually thought things through, and there's a carrier for it underneath the van.
What else? Sam wants to show us something else.
On the side where the footplate is, in here is the jack, and there's also a long tyre lever for taking the bolts off and all the hooks and stuff for the jack. But the long tyre lever, which is very, very long, I need to take the jack out of the way a bit, I was hoping not to. Surprisingly, long tyre lever.
What?
Well, this came out of that gap.
Wow. What's that for? He's showing us something.
Taking bolts off the wheels, but also
What are we looking at?
there's a little hole just here where you insert that,
Yeah.
and then you can winch down the spare wheel. It's underneath. There's a carrier for it.
Oh wow, that's clever.
So it's actually just up under here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get wet knees.
There it is. Just hiding up there. Just make sure that's secure.
Don't want the tyre dropping off.
God no.
Can it? Guys, that's it for van video today. That's all the bits that we've done. It's been a kind of a random video over lots of different days. But yeah, so hope you've enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on Fridays at 7 PM. And click that bell, because then you'll be notified when I upload new videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.